Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, this is Bones back with another video for you. And this time today, as you can see here, oh, look at that, 4 new kits. One of these kits you've already seen here, Real Grade Strike Freedom, but we're going to go into it a little bit in depth. So each one of these kits we're going to kind of open up, unbox. 2 of them I've already taken some of the wrapping off the runners, but we're going to look at these runners in depth, kind of look at the books a little bit. These are the 4 new kits that I will be next building. I haven't decided which one I want to start first. I think the Strike Freedom Gundam is going to be the next one. But guess what? We're going to be starting these and working on them. Yeah, right now I'm kind of debating over Real Grade Strike Freedom or RX-782 version 3.0. I'm not quite sure, but I think I want to get the real grade out of the way. That's my last real grade that I have. I got 3 stands coming. It takes quite a while to get here, but I got 3 real grade, I shouldn't say real grade, but 144 scale grade action bases coming. So that will kind of help out for the stands that we need. So let me set up here and we'll get right into this video. Okay, here we have Real Grade Strike Freedom. So let's open this sucker up and see what comes inside. Okay, as you can kind of see here on the side of the box, you have some nice box art with some poses. You can see the Dragoons as they are fully out with all the glorious inner gold frame. You can see them folded up, and then you can just see them in a normal pose right here. Of course, it even shows the sprues with the special gold plating. You can see how the hands are with the different hands and weapons. See the price there, obviously. This is a 3,000 yen, which is about a little over $30. So it comes out, by the time you get it shipped to the US, it's about $39. The other ones are about $30 for the real grades. Okay, Exia was about $35. So you can see some artwork. You can see the full completed gold frame with even the Dragoons, and you guys can see a full completed version on this. So that's kind of the, in fact, even the bottom of these boxes, they have all a bunch of artwork showing the different grades. BB Senshi, high grade, master grade, and of course as we come over here we get our perfect grade and then our real grades. And there are slight different versions of the real grade, because you actually have a couple of different styles that you have. It's showing the Strike Freedom. Everything within this line, so you have not only the Strike Freedom, you have the Freedom Gundam, and then you have the oh shoot. The other one, it's kind of a pinkish red color, which I plan to get next. That's going to be the next real grade that I get. Okay, so as you can see here is our first, let's see here. So we have our first set of sprues. I'm going to kind of lay the box back here, kind of out of the way. We've got our pad here. So these are our 3 main frame sprues. As you can see here, this is our flexible B runner, advanced MS joint number 4, and this is our main frame runner for the legs, the torso. You can see here, arm joints, upper shoulder joint, the opposable hands, or the articulated hand, as they call them. These are kind of like master grade 2.0 hands, similar to that. As you see, they're not near as good as you'll see in the RX-78-3 and High New Gundam. They aren't the hands like that, but you at least get a separate index finger, separate thumb. So not too bad. So that's that frame runner. Here is, I'll show you this last as far as frames. So here's the rest of your other frame runner. Now these do have some ABS. This has got ABS plastic on it. It's not the plastic that you got with New Gundam. polystyrene, but you do have a few ABS parts. And this is some more frame parts. Looks like you got some underskirts here. I believe this is some part of torso frame. Of course, you have your adapter there, so you can hook it to your base. And then you hear, it looks like we got some hands. Both the trigger, these right here are two-piece between here and here, and you can see here, zoom in. Yep. So you see, we got our trigger finger hands. We got some splayed, just kind of some just splayed out hands for looks. We got some different thrusters in here. We got our calf muscles. These are our knee joint armor for the double jointed, and just some other different parts in here. And of course, these is a dedicated internals for the Dragoons. Okay, and this is kind of like, this is the metallized parts. So these are the shiny metal. This stuff is actually really good. The only way kind of to get this stuff off is by actually cutting it. So one of the things we're going to have to be really careful is when I cut these, you're going to have some slight peeling there. So you'll kind of want to cut it away as far as possible and sand it down, and not actually clip next to the part itself, because you'll get some nasty little marks, nub marks in there, as you can see. And from what it looks like, I don't see any undergating on these, which would have been nice, but there's no place to have undergates on these because of the way the Dragoon sits. So they put them on the edge so you don't see them on the flat surfaces. But I can always remetallize with my airbrush kit. So that's your F2 runner. Fortunately, you don't have a F. Oh yeah, you do. Here's your F1 runner right there, which is kind of funny. F1 and F2 have nothing to do with each other. Interesting. So those are your frame runners. You have your H runner. Like I said, this is quite a big kit. These are your Dragoon, the outer parts for the Dragoons. Your G runners. As you can see, they are more Dragoon parts. Some other bits of frame pieces for your feet, or for feet. I don't remember what those are for. Dark frame parts. Dark armor parts, I should say. But this is the outer part of the Dragoons. Your multicolor runner, which you always get one of these in your real grades, because you only have a few red parts here, quite small. A couple of gun parts here for the tips of the gun. The one yellow part, which is his V-fin, or part of the V-fin, because the rest of the V-fin, let's see, I can find it. The rest of the V-fin's on there, but you have a few light gray parts, and you don't really have any gray frame parts. These are for one of the weapons. So as you can see, these gray parts, they're for one of the weapons, and this completes one of the weapons as well as some vents here. And I don't know what that piece is, but yep. And then a few white parts. This kit does have a few white parts here, and of course some more actually black, it looks like, yes. So you have some black parts. As you can see here, and I will show you this. This is your shield. It's a complete clear piece of plastic. It almost looks like a cockpit. So unlike F91 Gundam, where this was an effect part, they do this a little differently, and I'll show you how they do it. You have your effect parts here for your beam sabers. Of course, you have your armor. You can see some jagged lines. See right there, jagged lines in there, and I'm going to show you how you actually do how that will be done when we get to the manual and the stickers. So you have some armor parts, some torso parts up here, which are pretty much black armor parts, and the rest of the white parts as well. course, you have your white V-fin. So your V-fin's actually 2 different colors on here, which is kind of cool, I think. So that's it for those. Put these back. One thing I do, by the way, I already taken these out of the bags. I keep these bags. And the reason is, that's a receipt. But I keep these bags. The reason being that I take these, I put if I'm painting the parts, if I ever paint parts on the runner, I put them here. Also, sometimes I'll clip these off the runner to paint them individually prior to building it. So I will put them in the bag after they're done drying, and then that way I can number and label these bags, and then I can kind of know where the frame or the stuff goes. Because sometimes if you cut all the parts off, you would kind of lose track of it. And this is, even though it's a real grade and it's a 1/140 scale, 1 to 144 scale kit, it is quite large for a 144 scale kit. So you can get everything back in the bag. By the way, I picked this up at Hobbytown USA. I get a lot of my kits there, as well as ordering. I do order some stuff from overseas, but typically by the time I pay shipping and handling, I got almost as much into it as I would just going to Hobbytown. Now, some people, they will be like, well, just save up and order everything all at once, but I don't typically like to do that, so put that receipt back in there. So that's it for the box. And I'll quickly, well, before I put that, let's look at put this off to the side real quick. And quickly take a look at the manual. So in one of my previous videos, I was talking, it was the Exia video actually, but I was talking about how in previous, like the Titans, you would take and build a frame, and then you would flex all the parts as you took them off the runner, the frame parts. Well, not in this guy. This guy, just like the Exia, as you can see here, has you put all the armor on these on the legs. You build the leg, put the armor on, and then you flex it. And it's because you have some very, very tiny little joints in here that they don't want you to damage. Pull the real stickers out. Same thing with the arms. You do the same thing with the arms. You build it. We've got the weapon system, some information on the weapon systems here. It's all pretty typical stuff. All the Dragoons. Assembling the Dragoons gives you some more information. It tells you how to transform your gun, because the gun is 2 individual guns, or comes as one. And you also have your dual beam sabers. Kind of like in Star Wars, Darth Maul. And of course, you got your layout, which is all standard stuff. Now, as you can see right here, this is for the shield. So this is your real stickers. You got some foil stickers here, some shiny gold stickers. But you don't have a lot like you do in a lot of them, because and these are 4 different pieces right here, and these 4 different stickers are going to actually go onto the shield and make this kind of fancy dancy. It's actually 4 individual cutouts, and they'll go on there because the shield is kind of angled, not rounded off. So that's that for the real grade Strike Freedom. So I'm going to put him away real quick. Just give me 1 second. Made a mistake and I laid up. There we go. So we're going to put him over there. Next thing we want to see, and I bought this kit a little bit ago. After I show you this kit, then we'll go over the 2 most recent kits that I just purchased. So this kit as well are from Hobbytown USA, and as you can see, oh, High New Gundam version Ka. 2014. So this was the big kit. You had 3 big kits between 2012 to 2014, and the 3 big kits were obviously New Gundam, which I already put together, Sazabi, which I have not gotten yet, which I probably plan on ordering once I get to my next station. And then in 2014, High New Gundam. Now, if you notice, High New Gundam's box is just slightly thicker than New Gundam. Box size is about the same. In fact, here's Red Frame Ashtray. There's the thickness, the difference in thickness between Red Frame Ashtray and High New. And New Gundam was a little bit thicker than this. It was about to right here. So New Gundam was definitely bigger and has a lot less weapon systems than Ashtray. Of course, you'd say, well, why is High New in a bigger box? Because if you look at the side, let's see here. There you actually got the picture of the mobile suit. It says Amaro's Ray's custom suit for new type. By the way, you never see High New in any of the movies. It's in a manga. It's part of Char's Counterattack. And the thing is, if you actually look, if you read the manga, it's a black and white pattern. So what he does is he takes his New Gundam and then puts this new backpack on with these thrusters, and it becomes High New Gundam. And he changed out the gun and stuff. But everything else is the same. So this is not really the original of how High New Gundam looked. This is kind of a re-envisioning of it. So New Gundam and High New Gundam, actually, the High New Gundam, or the New Gundam that we see in the version Ka is not really what's in the manga as well. It's kind of a cross between High New Gundam that you see here and New Gundam you see here. That New Gundam that we saw in the version Ka that had the Psycho Frame bits parts in it. So what's really awesome is it's almost like it was a kit bash before they made these 2 separate models. So, but where the New Gundam or High New Gundam really differentiated is the backpack, as you can see here, and this is a real difference. Of course, the legs are a little bit bigger, but as you can see here, his height is 20 meters. Oh, excuse me. So High New is closer to our Unicorn Gundam in height. So you can see he's an RX-93 version 2. This is the version 2 of... In fact, if you watch Char's Counterattack, you see New Gundam. New Gundam is a 22-meter tall mobile suit. That's the nice thing I like about the version of Toki's. They get all this information on the side. So New Gundam was a 22-meter tall mobile suit, which is taller than this guy, about a head taller. So he's a little bit taller. And then that's not even when his Psycho Frame pulls out. So altogether he gets about 23 meters once you expand him out. But of course in the cartoon, the anime, he didn't expand. You didn't see the Psycho Frame. Well, you saw the cockpit, but you didn't see the rest of the Psycho Frame. It kind of infers to it, but you don't really see it. So this is a second incantation, and in reality, when you start to read the manga, which I need to go back and start reading the manga, kind of look at it, he uses both of these in Char's Counterattack, not just the individual one. So let's pop this open. Give me 1 second here. There we go. Got our camera adjusted. Well, like I said, I already took everything out of the plastic, other than the sticker sheets. Now, first thing we have here, we have water decals, water slides. And as you can see, you're saying, what is all this purple for? Well, that's for the fin funnels, because they don't expect you to paint all that, which you can. But it actually puts, which is, I think is awesome, is you have these water slide decals, and you actually have the other decals part of it, so that you don't have to put a decal on top of a decal. And these are for the tips of the, this is for the back part of the fin funnel. And if you actually look at, here's the manual here. Right? So you have the back part, which you see on the water slide, and then you have this part here, and then you actually have the tip of it, which you get kind of with these things. So, or wait, no. That's not the tip. No, I don't know what those are for. But, yep, that's kind of how that is. That works. So the actual decals aren't that big so much. The big part is these for the fin funnels. And then, of course, you have a couple of small foil stickers here for the cameras and then for the eyes, but we're not going to be using those foil stickers at all. And pretty much, I'm not sure. Sometime I'll show you guys the new Gundam. But new Gundam was, I weathered him and made him look like he had just pushed back the asteroid. So that's the big thing that I did with new Gundam. I wanted him to look like he was all burnt up, that he'd possibly come in through the atmosphere on re-entry while pushing back the large asteroid that he does in-charge counterattack. And so I made him look all dark and burnt, and I put burn marks on the thrusters and everything. But I don't think I'm going to do that with this guy. I think I'm just going to paint him, but I don't know if I'm going to go with a purple. I think I might go with the original black and gold and white color scheme that the original Hainu had in the original manga. So I don't think I'm going to go with this color scheme. But I think I'll use a lot of the decals because I'm going to keep this a clean build. So, as you can see, this manual is a typical, just even like Crossbow Gundam, it's a very typical version Gintoki manual. So you get to see, you get to even see about the LED, which new Gundam has. You can see some of the gimmicks that he has already, like he has these machine guns inside of his arms. You can also put the beam sabers inside of his arms, which you couldn't do with new Gundam. New Gundam did have a beam saber in his arm, and also in the back because he had the large beam saber. But this goes even farther, and you have beam sabers back in the backpack. And of course the fin funnels attached to the backpack. And then of course you even have the thruster tanks there. And then the awesome thing about this is, if everybody remembers New Gundam's base, New Gundam version Ka's base was awesome. It had the awesome ratchetable clear parts for those fin funnels, and it is solid. It is very solid. And you get the same thing with this, not like the original Hainu Gundam. And of course, the original New Gundam had nothing. So, like typical build. And of course, in the back, you get your complete diagram. As you can see, this is how the base is going to go together with these ratcheting. So let's kind of put that off, and we're going to kind of take a look at this. So first thing as we see here, this is our base. And it's the Amuro A symbol. And it's just like that. That's the Amuro A. That's what you always see on the shoulder. Now, the awesome thing is Hainu Gundam, his symbol changed a little bit to the Amuro A, which you saw in New Gundam, to an Amuro A with a unicorn. And that's really where the unicorn comes from. It's that Amuro A and a unicorn head coming off the A. And that's really where the whole concept of that New Gundam and Hainu Gundam is where they developed the Unicorn Gundam from. It wasn't from some other Gundam. So that's really why they call New Gundam and Hainu Gundam the ultimate mobile suits of Universal Century. Of course, you have the rest of your stand parts. Bottom of the base, top part where you're going to clip in, and then of course these ratcheting arms, 6 of them actually. And of course your headpiece or your neck piece for your LED. Okay. Next thing you have is we got a bag here of polycaps, which I'm not going to take apart. Well, no, actually I am going to take this apart. So let's see here. Let me grab my knife. Grab my knife out, and this was the one bag I hadn't opened. So I was kind of surprised. I originally was going to build this much sooner, and so I pulled everything apart to plan it, and I just kind of got into some other things, and I I really wanted to airbrush this kit. I ran into some issues with New Gundam. I didn't want to run into the same issues, so I decided to do this a little different. I was going to paint it a little different than I believe I'm going to paint it now. So, as you can see here, you have the same exact hands as you had on New Gundam. Number 1, and this will say actually number 2 for Sotheby. And then these are the exact same hands that are used on 3.0 Gundam. So these are the fully posable hands. They are just like real grade hands, except a lot thinner, a lot smaller. So that's pretty awesome. We got some bluish aqua clear beam saber parts, and then we have 2 runners of polycaps, which we need, as we know from New Gundam. New Gundam holds together pretty well. He holds his weapons up. He doesn't sag. Nothing really sags on his arms and joints and everything, and that's because he's got these nice big polycaps. Okay, so now we got buckets and buckets of frame parts here. This is some leg frame parts, as you can see here. We got the nice large joints here for the ankles. This is for the hips, even for the shoulder. So this is an ankle joint right here. As you can see, how that is a large. Got a knee joint. Got 2 runners of those, the L runners. You got some runners. These are large skirts, quite a bit larger. These are large frame skirts. You got your chest, some more chest pieces and torso, a waist, and part of the backpack, and of course you got part of your head as well, and neck. So these skirt pieces are quite a bit larger on him, the back skirts, than New Gundam even. And some more frame parts, in which you got your shoulders in here, as you can see. Quite a lot of stuff here. Looks like more frame parts. And then unlike we start New Gundam, he had some very dark blue, and they go to some light gray, very light gray. So I don't think I'm going to do it this light gray. These, I'm not really sure how I'm going to do these, but I'm going to paint these a different color. These are not going to be, these might actually get almost a black. I think I might go with black for these. Okay. And then the only real colored parts here, and we got 3 runners of those, and these are the purple parts. And this is what kind of differentiates this from the New Gundam. And you got some leg pieces, some shoulder pieces here, and of course the bottom of your feet. Just a small smidge of some pieces there, and one more runner that has them on, but this is your tricolor one. There we go. And then of course you see your 1 cycle frame part, which is your cockpit, because we all know that the head unit, eye unit, and the cockpit is all made from cycle frame. So they use the blue cycle frame parts that you saw on New Gundam and in the earlier, in the 2011 Unicorn Gundam version Kentucky, full armor. Okay, only a couple yellow parts there. Only a couple yellow thrusters. The rest are, these aren't thrusters either. The front vents, all the thrusters are gray. And of course we see some fin funnels here, fin funnel parts. And the bottoms are the light gray. The tops are the white, as you can see right there. Like that. And then some more vent parts there. Of course some more fin funnel parts. And then what makes the box so big? Everybody's like, well, why is this box so stinking big? Well, it's the white parts. Because you have leg pieces, which are quite a bit bigger, just because he's got wider legs than New Gundam. And then his shield, which his shield is the same. The bazooka is the same. The gun is pretty much the same, even though it's a slightly different design. It's still pretty much the same. What becomes different is now you have these thick runners because you have these pods here, which are for the fuel pods. Okay, and then got 2 of those. And then, of course, now you have your skirt armor, which is pretty big as well. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this stuff back in here real quick. Like I said, I saved all the bags as well on here. I think that's quite important you do that. This guy, I might paint some of him on the runner. But, I don't know. I've thought about actually metallizing this guy as well, instead of doing the black. So, I don't know. We will see what we will see. I'm not 100% positive how this guy is going to come out. He's going to be the last kit I build of all the kits that I got right now. Just because he's got to be perfect. There's not going to be anything. I will not anything get messed up on this guy here at all. Parts. This guy's just a monstrosity. The box huge. But the nice thing is everything fits back in. There. As well. Water slide decals, absolutely the most awesome thing. So the last three major master grades that we've gotten, which has been High New, New Gundam, and of course Sazabi, have all had water slide decals. Being not just because they're version Katokis, because as we saw in Crossbow Gundam, but because they're newer and they're people are paying the money. Let's see here. Price on this guy is $7,000. See right there. So he's not as expensive as the O or any of the others, but I'm talking 70 bucks there. And by the time you get him over here, you're talking about 80 bucks. So he's a big boy. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop here for today with this video, and we are going to look at the last two kits, I think, in the next video. So I want to divide this up. This is already a 30-minute video, and these next two kits we're going to concentrate a little bit more on, because I actually have to open them up. So we will see in the next video, which will probably be just right after this video comes out. I'll put this next video out, and we're going to look at the next two kits, which are Master Grade Astray, and of course Master Grade 3.0 RX-78 Gundam. Make sure you subscribe, folks, and we'll see you in the next video.